Hey guys, it's so cold, Tiff. I understand it's very late, but it's the summertime and I usually stay up really late. As most of you may know, I am a type 1 diabetic. I have been since 2009. It'll be my 5th year this year. This would be my 4th year on the pump, and I love it. I had a year in shots and a year on a pump. And the reason I'm doing this video was because I was scrolling through the internet like every other teenage person does. And I found a video that irked me. It's not been just that video. It's been more than just that. All these assumptions about diabetes that I've been hearing. And this one just pushed me over the edge. It's like a whole bunch of other diabetics that had watched that got irked off too. And it's just like, it's not right to put that kind of hope into a diabetic's mind. It was basically about a supposed cure. I should know. I would know if there was one. There is no cure for diabetes at all. For type 1, you have it for the rest of your life. I understand with type 2, if your pancreas doesn't completely shut down and you change your diet and stuff, it may, like a very small percentage of it may be reversed. But there is no cure for type 1 diabetes. Possibly for type 2 as well if it gets that bad. I don't care if you're talking about cinnamon or anything. I took cinnamon before. I still kind of take cinnamon. All it really does, it regulates it a little better, but you need your insulin, whether it's when you're on shots or the pen, your fast-acting, which can be Novolog, Humalog, Apidra, and Lantus or Levemir. I don't know if there's any others. And also, if you're on the pump like I am, just your fast acting. You need it. There's no cure yet, I wish. And I might be the only one saying this, but I probably wouldn't take the cure because it can kind of fail. I kind of have the fear to fail. And 2, I'm so used to diabetes, even if I've had it for such a short time compared to most of these people who've had it for like 10, 20 years. I've had it for only about 5 now. But I'm so used to it that it's like I don't really care if I have it or not. And it's just normal to me. Another thing that irks me hearing about diabetes-wise is all these people looking at a plate full of sugar. Like, it can be like a bunch of candy, a piece of cake, something with a high sugar content, and say, oh, look, you're going to get diabetes from that, or look, that's a big plate of diabetes. I can see where you're coming from, because that will spike a diabetic's blood sugar really high without insulin. But diabetes is not caused by a large amount of sugar. Believe me, I ate a lot as a kid. I could sit down and eat like a giant amount of food in one sitting. Yes, but that never caused it. It runs in my family. I don't exactly know how far back it was, because all I know is of type 2 in my family. But it runs back. It's hereditary. It's an autoimmune disease where your cells get attacked. It lowers your immune system, which is why we get sick a lot. I don't know if it's just me, but it kind of irritates me hearing about, oh, so much sugar can cause diabetes, and I'm just like, no. Another thing I hate hearing, people really can't distinguish type 1 and type 2, which I get that. If you don't really have it in your family, you don't need to know. But if you can't distinguish it and you walk up to a type 1 and you're talking about type 2 to their face, it gets pretty irritating. And on the subject of that, not all diabetics are overweight or obese when they're diagnosed. Me personally, I was a 10-year-old at 50 pounds. Obviously, I was not obese. I was way too underweight for my age. And I had weight loss. It scared everybody because you could see my bones. Obviously, that's not overweight. Most type 2s, it's because of what's going on in their family, their past. Most of them are overweight, so I don't see why there's this widely I guess I can blame it on TV or the internet or something for the assumption that all diabetics were diagnosed overweight or obese, and it's not true. I could tell you a whole bunch of other people who weren't obese when they were diagnosed. Like, honestly, I know a few people, type 2s, that were obese, but there's a lot of people, and that's really a really bad assumption when it comes to diabetes. And there's something I want to talk to you guys about. I went through a full year before I went on the pump, which, yeah, on the shots. It was recommended by my doctor to go on the insulin pump, but I was on for a whole year with shots. And I hear a lot of people saying, well, I could never do that. I personally went through DKA, which is short for diabetic ketoacidosis. Basically, your blood sugar gets so high, like skyrockets, and you don't know. And all of a sudden you start puking, which I got to that point. You pee a lot, you puke, you get so thirsty it's not even funny. You sleep a lot. When it gets serious to where I was at, because I had vomited for over 24 hours, I had rapid breathing, deep breathing, I was dizzy, I could barely stand and stay awake, and I could not eat. I'd look at food and want to vomit again, no matter what. If I drank too much, I'd vomit. If I didn't do much of anything, I'd still vomit. I'd wake up vomiting. And I ended up in the ER. Now, if you think about it, would you rather take injections, change your site, which, yeah, it has medical tape over it, every 2 to 3 days, or take injections like 6 times a day, 6 to 8, it can go more or less. Would you rather take injections or do stuff through the pump, or would you rather go through what I did and almost die? I think you'd rather go through the needles. Like, it's not that bad after a while. You get used to it. Yeah, I understand the scars, which I have a lot from the pump. And the continuous finger pokes, which, as you can tell, well, I don't think you can really tell, but there's, like, kind of like, I don't know, scabs there. Yes, I can understand what you're coming from, but I would rather myself go through shots. I don't want to feel like I'm dying again. And it was really miserable on my end. So the last thing I want to talk about is, yes, I understand most people don't know about diabetes. I didn't know about it. Well, I sort of knew about it because I had this girl in my preschool who had it and who had a pump herself because she was diagnosed at a very young age, to where I saw her, and she was like one of my best friends, so I saw her having her mom do her stuff. But if you don't know much about diabetes, I'd recommend watching what you say about it, because there's a lot of us, and it really makes us mad and hurts our feelings when there's assumptions that aren't even true getting said everywhere, and we have to go through it every day. We eat sugar, like, seriously, I could drink a whole 52-ounce Speedy Freeze and bolus for it, I'm fine. We eat sugar, we have a normal life, like, seriously. Sometimes I can barely tell this is there, because you just get used to it after a while. You get used to the shots, the endo appointments, upon endo appointments. Anyway, you get used to it. You have a normal life. It's just, we don't like hearing that we can't eat sugar, that we have to watch our weight, that we have to do this and that. It's just like, why are you telling us this when we were told this when we were first diagnosed? So thanks for listening to my rant. This is honestly probably one of the longest videos I've ever made. So if you have any questions, you can comment. If you want to talk about your diabetes or something, you can comment or message me, and I will be there. Comment, rate, subscribe, whatever's up to you. Thanks.